How's it going, everyone? NeedleMouse here. You like Sonic? Now, how about guns? You see where I'm going with this? Shadow the Hedgehog is a video game that certainly exists. Honestly, it's so overbearingly mid, right? Stupid dialogue, awful gameplay. It's one of the worst Sonic games I've ever... I will not have this game slandered, and not by some weak faker. This channel is mine now. I am Terios the Hedgehog. Now, how about we give this game a fair chance, Now, I've played this game both on my Wii and on my Dolphin with a widescreen hack. Going into the video game, I had a lot of things on my mind, but most importantly, it was how bad was this game going to be. I heard awful things about Shadow the Hedgehog, so I prepared myself for an experience as bad as Sonic 06. I beat the game in like 3 days, like all of the endings, and I've always 100%ed the game. Look at me in the eyes and tell me I am a sane human being. Shadow the Hedgehog is such an interesting game to me, mostly because I can fully understand why many people dislike it. In fact, I understand why I should dislike this game, and yet I don't. I actually want to come back to this game and keep on playing it. From the music to the actually really fun gameplay, Shadow 05 is genuinely a fun game. In fact, Shadow the Hedgehog is deeper than you think. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. NeedleMouse will not be hosting today's video. And so, without further ado, let's get a little background. The whole reason why Shadow the Hedgehog even happened was due to the popularity of the character. At one point in time, Shadow was even more popular than Sonic himself, and that was the whole reason they brought him back for Sonic Heroes. After Heroes came out though, Sonic fans wanted a spin-off dedicated just to the black and red hedgehog. Around this time, fans also wanted Sonic characters to wield guns. I'm not kidding, this is genuinely something people wanted. Yeah. Sonic Team and Sega were completely against Sonic using guns, but other characters like, say, Arrival for example, well, that would be just fine. And so, out of all of these ideas, Shadow the Hedgehog was born. Released about a year after Sonic Heroes, the game would be a commercial success but a critical failure, boasting a 51% on Metacritic for the GameCube, which is its highest score. Shadow 05 now has a pretty awful legacy, as many people see this game as the turn into the Dark Age, but I personally completely disagree. While I don't believe Shadow is the greatest Sonic, I think it is unbelievably underrated. Starting off with the game's gameplay. The main point of the game is that you can choose your own path and make Shadow either a hero, a villain, or neither. In most levels, you can choose to either do hero missions, dark missions, or neutral missions. And doing one will change the next level you play. As far as controlling our main character, Shadow himself is quite slippery, I will agree. But there are many areas where you can easily maneuver around. He also has a homing attack as well as a spin dash, which is extremely useful. While not as great as SA1s or 2s, this spin dash is really fun to use, and can be useful for jumping over big pits. One of my favorite changes is also the rail grinding. Good lord, did they fix it so well in this game. Shadow was the first time we had reliable rail switching in Sonic games, as well as a cool animation with it that would remain until even Frontiers. Another thing this game adds are these meters at the top of the screen. A hero and dark meter. Depending on what enemies you kill, your meter will fill up. Filling up the hero meter grants you a chaos control. It stops time in boss fights, but in regular levels, it's a massive dash forward. Charging up the dark meter grants you Chaos Blast, which is honestly one of the best moves Shadow has ever and will ever have, as he jumps into the air and literally performs a massive explosion surrounding him, killing everything around him. Badass. But Shadow's most important move comes when you pick up an item, the guns. While I do think that giving any Sonic character guns is quite stupid, this game does it actually really well. There is a massive variety of weapons. From guns to full swords, they become more and more powerful as you get into the later levels of the game. Speaking of which, there are a total of 22 levels in Shadow the Hedgehog, now counting the final level, Last Wave. And if you thought for a second I wasn't going to go over all 23 levels, you clearly haven't seen any videos on this channel. Time to accept the edge and dive into Westopolis. For our intro stage, Westopolis does its job exceedingly well. The level introduces you to how the game works, with its missions being not very difficult. The level also has some really cool gimmicks, with these massive lasers raining down on you as you try and avoid them, but otherwise the stage is nothing that special. Overall, it's a great opening stage, but compared to future stages, it's pretty mediocre. Digital Circuit is one of the better levels in Shadow. All 3 missions are fun in their own right, and I especially enjoy the Dark mission, where I have to destroy the core. I really enjoy all the light-based gimmicks in this level, and for the same reason I also enjoy Mad Matrix, but we'll get to that later. The thing I do not enjoy though are these stupid walls. They piss me off so much every time they randomly pop up. But apart from that, every other gimmick, from turning into literal light to climbing light poles, this level is a blast. Glyphic Canyon is another stage. It's just okay. If you don't have the chicken gun when doing the hero mission, good luck, because you need to destroy 60 enemies. Yeah, in this level, again, the dark mission clears. You have to activate these 5 switches throughout the entire level to awaken the ancient ruins. Very cool idea, honestly, and the way it plays into a future level is extremely cool. And as far as the neutral mission goes, it's just to get to the end type of scenario. This overall leaves Glyphic Canyon as just an okay level in my eyes, with 1 great mission, 1 bad one, and 1 mediocre one. And you'll notice that this might be a pattern going forward. Lethal Highway is such a banger stage. This is a top 5 in this game, only because the hero mission. While the neutral mission simply has you getting to the end of the stage, the hero mission has you teaming up with Sonic to destroy the alien's tank. Using every weapon you can find, your chaos abilities, and Shadow's natural speed, you have to make sure this weapon is destroyed before it can escape. Such a fun level, and is one of the best in Shadow the Hedgehog. When I'm going into Cryptic Castle, I was quite worried about the Dark mission, as I heard absolute horror stories about it. In said mission, you have to light 5 hearths of fire with these torches, and apparently they were hidden awfully. But I kinda beat it on my first try without much struggle. Same goes for the hero mission. I heard about it also being quite difficult, but I found both cream and cheese on my first try and even got an A rank. It seems that the biggest problem that most people have is breaking these doors, to which I say, how? They have these massive cracks on them, like how can you miss them? Anyway, the neutral mission is another get to the end, which is a little boring, but I will commend this stage for having one of my favorite environments, that being this haunted castle. And here's something I should probably add on. A lot of people say that Shadow's environments are extremely unoriginal and unimaginative. Well, I will say for levels like Lethal Highway and Westopolis, that can apply. There are a load of levels in this game that are so cool and completely original. Cryptic Castle is just one of them, and you'll see me mention every single time I love an environment in this game. But overall, I was pleasantly surprised with this stage, even though it isn't my favorite. Okay, before I even get into the level itself, Prison Island has perhaps my favorite environment of the game, simply because of how it presents itself. As most of you know, we visited Prison Island in Sonic Adventure 2, before it is of course blown off the face of the planet. Or so we thought so, until we returned to it in Shadow the Hedgehog. And what they did here is beyond cool. The place is overgrown with plant life, but it's also covered in pools of toxic radioactive soup. The way they brought back a past level, made it feel thematically and literally different, is amazing in my eyes. And more Sonic games should do this. As far as the missions go though, they're all just kinda passable. Just not good and not bad either. Although the hero mission does kinda suck. It was the first time I had to seek outside help to clear it. And the main gimmick of this stage being these discs that allow you to float over the toxic soup are way too slow in my opinion. They just are not that fun at all. And the unfortunate part is that they return in multiple future levels. So that's great. Honestly, the environment saves the stage from being completely mediocre. By far the goofiest stage of all. I kind of like Circus Park. While this was the only level I got stuck on when I first played Shadow the Hedgehog, this stage goes kinda hard. While the hero mission is nothing special, and neither is the dark mission, the levels, environments, and gimmicks more than make up for it. With these massive ring-gaining gongs, balloon mini-games, and lots of bouncy orbs, Circus Park is a pretty fun stage all things considered. welcome to Anxiety, the level. Central City is honestly an awful yet amazing stage at the same time, and I'm not really sure how. This is one of the most open stages in the game, with these massive areas where shadow slipperiness can be used to your own benefit. But the actual missions are so beyond difficult on your first try. The Dark mission is the better one, with you having to activate these 5 massive bombs to destroy Central City. The location of these bombs may be difficult to locate on your first try, but if you stay on a straight path, you shouldn't miss them at all, really. The most important thing is for you to notice this breakable wall after the second bomb. The hero mission has you destroying a bunch of smaller bombs, so the city doesn't get blown up. And again, if you don't have the chicken gun, Godspeed, because otherwise, this is hell and a half. As much as I wish I could say that I love Central City, it just is not that good. Alright, there are 2 levels in this game where my patience runs completely thin, and one of them is the Do. The idea of a level based in the past is thematically really neat for this game, but my god does this level suck. Every mission, the level design, everything about this level is abysmal. I'm done. I don't even want to talk about how awful this level is. If you know, you know. I'm not explaining it. Alright, what's next? Get me out of here. So remember how when I was talking about Glyphic Canyon, I said it had a really cool connection to a later level? That later level is Sky Troops, and it's one of the better levels in this game. Both Dark and Hero missions are actually really fun. In the Dark mission, you have to shoot down Eggman's fleet, while in the Hero mission, you have to try and hit those same switches you did in Glyphic Canyon to ground the ruins, which thematically and gameplay-wise is really cool. They reuse the same gimmick, but made it feel so completely different that the reuse is completely passable. Overall, Sky Troops is just a much better version of Glyphic Canyon. While I did say Mad Matrix can be fun, the hero mission just sucks. Let's just say that shit after that. Mad Matrix still remains one of the 3 levels I haven't 100%ed, and honestly, I don't feel like I will without a guide. The hero mission confuses me to no end. The Dark mission is a lot more straightforward, where you have to destroy these mines. But with the same gimmicks as Digital Circuit, I can't help but to think this level is just okay. It definitely isn't better than Digital Circuit, that's for sure. I don't have much to say about this level either, so let's move on. Death Ruins, more like, this stage is okay. While the level gimmicks aren't too innovative, I do love how much this level focuses on rail grinding. I guess that's pretty cool. It also has these stretchy things that don't really have a purpose except to look cool, I guess. What else does this stage even have? Oh right, it has death, and there are a bunch of ruins. I don't know, man, this stage is just alright, nothing more and nothing less. And there isn't just much of anything, I'm gonna be honest. Now this is one of the best stages in Shadow the Hedgehog, the Arc. The main gimmick of this stage is that you ride on these flying aliens and use them to get to the end of the stage. That is, of course, unless you want to do the much better Dark mission, which has you destroying the Ark's shield generators, and this is just so much fun. By this point in the game, the weapons you can get are so freaking overpowered that it makes this level even more fun. There are even parts of the level where you can dismount off the alien and do these small challenges to where you can get more ammo, or you can just of course skip this entire section, but that doesn't matter. Overall, this is another top 5 level in Shadow the Hedgehog. While now whenever I play this level, I have that one jet video stuck in my head. Air Fleet is honestly another top 5 level in this game. It has those wide areas that allow you to maneuver well, 2 great missions, and an amazing environment. This massive air facility is already cool enough, but it also has the added stakes that the president is trying to escape. You either team up with Tails and take out the alien forces, or you destroy the plane yourself. The way you do it is so cool too, with many guns all over the place, turrets being set up, and these raising platforms that allow you to perform Chaos Blast if you have your Dark Meter charged. Overall, the level design, the level gimmicks are just one of my favorites in the game, and easily clear most of the levels in this game. Iron Jungle is another acceptable stage. The hero mission here easily clears, that being you having to shoot down Eggman's Zeppelin while it's shooting back at you. It's really fun actually. The Dark mission is just to kill a bunch of gun soldiers type vibe, nothing special. The environment is cool, that being an Eggman base tucked away in a jungle, which is something I don't think we've seen at that point in time. But yeah, otherwise, it's a pretty fun stage. Space Gadget is yet another absolutely peak stage, and yet another one where I have that stupid jet video ruining it. Nah, this stage is really fun, to be completely honest. The gravity changing mechanic is actually, I'm gonna be honest, the best in Sonic history. There has never been a more natural gravity changing gimmick ever. You don't have to stop like a crazy gadget. You just run into these things and boom, the gravity changes. The hero mission is a race against Sonic, which I thought was really cool. The Dark mission really confused me at first because of the gravity changing, but after knowing how to get all of the arcs generators, it was really a piece of cake. And big surprise, the neutral ending is just to get to the end type of vibe. So remember how much I hated the Doom? Well, this level is somehow worse. Lost Impact sucks so hard. The neutral mission isn't bad at all. In fact, I got an A rank on it. But the hero mission, man, it's awful. You have to destroy all these artificial chaos, and not only do they have a ridiculous amount of health, but these sections where you have a massive gun are so annoying. I hate this stage with a passion, and honestly, the Doom and Lost Impact are one of the reasons this game doesn't get a higher score. Screw this stage, I never want to see these stupid, translucent, blue bitch ever again. Gun Fortress is another banger. This level has some of the most open sections in the game. Not just that, but the gimmicks of this levels are really fun. I especially enjoyed the perspective change through these sections with cameras. The Dark mission once again clears though, with you having to destroy these 3 generators as an endless slew of enemies head your way. The amount of times I spammed Chaos Blast on this part is a little ridiculous, but it was really fun, so who can blame me really? The environment is cool as we see the last of the gun shelters and the final struggle between humanity and the aliens. Overall, as one of our 5 ending stages, it does its job very well. The Black Comet is probably the worst of the ending stages. It predominantly relies on the same gimmick we see in Prison Island, and it's not very fun. The Dark mission and the Hero mission are also very underwhelming, one having you to kill all the gun soldiers and the other one having you simply get to the end. The environment is cool though, as we see the heart of the alien operation, but another final level does it better. We'll get to it later though. This is a disappointing level though, unfortunately. Alright, okay. Man, this right here is such a good level. Lava Shelter is undoubtedly the best level in Shadow the Hedgehog, bar to none. You know what? I'm going a step further. This is the best lava level in Sonic history. Usually, I hate lava levels in Sonic because they often turn out to feel like Mario levels. Sonic Lost World. Well, dang, I didn't expect that. But Lava Shelter couldn't be more unlike a Mario stage. The level relies on railgunning a lot, and thanks to the much better railgunning in this game, it is so much fun. The neutral mission on its own is so much fun, but the dark mission, keep cooking, Sonic team. You have to activate Eggman's defenses, and by doing so, the level will rise, giving you a lot of tight platforming sections that are just so much fun. This is, without a doubt, the best Shadow level. And I pray that this one will return in Sonic Shadow Generations, because holy crap, this level single-handedly makes Shadow the Hedgehog worth playing through. I used to not like Cosmic Fall at all. The level to me had way too many insta-kill pits, but by getting good at this level, this one is a banger. The Dark mission has you getting to the end of the stage, while the Hero mission has you teaming up with Vector to... No, don't say it, no!
Find the computer!
The environment is a banger too, with you having to jump across falling pieces of the arc as it's about to crash down onto the planet. Honestly, Cosmic Fall is also another great stage. I know I said that Lava Shelter was the best level in this game, and I still stand by that, but Final Haunt is a close second. It's a faster and more fun version of the Black Comet. It has the same cool environment, that being the home place of the Black Orbs. Lots of massive open areas, using this cool vacuum gun to open new areas. Rail grinding section, I really like this stage. The Dark Mission also introduces the flying alien once more, and it's great to use. While the Hero Mission has you and Sonic racing to the center of the Black Comet to confront Black Doom. What a great stage, just phenomenal. Now, you may have seen that I didn't mention the music of this game, and if you thought it was due to me thinking that it was bad, you would be severely mistaken. This OST is so good that it deserves its own section to talk about. Many people describe Shadow's soundtrack as very edgy, and while they aren't entirely wrong, this OST has so many gems. From the grungy rock of Lethal Highway and Glyphic Canyon, to the electric sounds of Mad Matrix and Digital Circuit, to the masterpieces that are Final Haunt and Lava Shelter. Shadow the Hedgehog's OST is a top 5 Sonic OST, no questions asked. And that's just not even mentioning the vocal themes, which there are so many in this game. I Am All of Me, Waking Up, Never Turn Back, and many others are some of my favorite vocal themes in Sonic history. In fact, Never Turn Back is my favorite ending theme in any Sonic game ever. And while the bosses share the same amount of great music, unfortunately they pretty much all fall flat. Well, I do like how a lot of bosses encourage you to fill up your hero and dark bars so you can easily deal damage. So you can deal damage easier. Almost all bosses in this game are way too easy. Except for Sonic and Diablon. This is awful. No more of this. I hate this. I won't go into details, but way too many of them can be beaten in literally 15 seconds. Alright, and here is another negative this game has. The story. In the words of my good friend GWA, who you should definitely check out by the way.
They let Sonic Team cook too much. Because, good grief, there is too much content in this game.
There are 10 possible endings, and while the idea of multiple endings and choosing your own path is cool on its own, the way it's done is kinda awful, as the story makes no sense for each path. You'll be helping one side only for them to randomly turn on you, or vice versa. It just does not make any sense. Couple that with the laughable profanity, the story of Shadow the Hedgehog is kind of awful. But I do love the idea this game brings to the table. For one, I really like the Black Arms, and I really like Black Doom himself. In fact, Black Doom is one of my favorite villains in Sonic history too. I was so happy when I saw him coming back in Sonic Shadow Generations, I'm gonna be honest. In fact, I am so happy that Shadow's story in the remaster tie-ins to Shadow 05. I just hope that the characterization for Shadow will be good. Speaking of which, in Shadow 05, the characterization is kinda eh. While much better than the 2010s, it doesn't hold a candle to SA2 nor Shadow's peak in Sonic 06. Shadow is surprisingly not as edgy as he is in the 2010s, though not by a lot. While the forced cursing does bring it down a lot, Shadow has genuine moments of character, unlike Sonic Alright, it's time for the grand finale. Shadow has a final story, like most games during this time period, which kinda sucks as it decanonizes all 10 other endings, but I really don't see any other way they could have done this. In the last story, we see Black Doom warp the Black Comet to the Earth's surface with the use of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, with his main goal being to use humans as an energy source. He then traps our main characters except for Shadow, who finally comes to grips with his past, and he's ready to move on, as he rushes to the center of the comet to confront Black Doom. Last Way is a combination of the Black Comet and Final Haunt, and it takes the best parts of each level. The level can take quite a bit of time, but I personally didn't have any problems. Honestly, my opinions are exactly the same as Final Haunt and Black Comet, essentially mashed into one. This level isn't better than Final Haunt, but it is much better than the Black Comet. As we get to the center of the comet, Shadow confronts Black Doom as a message from Gerald Robotnik and his granddaughter, Maria, plays. Their words empower Shadow, who uses the 7 Chaos Emeralds to transform into Super Shadow. And it's time to face him down once and for all, to rid humanity of this alien oppression. Super Shadow versus Devil Doom.
I gave you life, and yet you defy me. So be it. You shall pay for your ingratitude with relentless pain.
Shadow, can you hear me? We managed to escape from that cup. There's no need to hold back.
This boss fight is low-key one of my favorites in the early 2000s. The Final Hazard, Perfect Chaos, and Metal Overlord pale in comparison to this boss. While thematically, the others are a lot better, Devil Doom is so much fun. Using both Chaos Blast, Chaos Control, and you having to charge up your Chaos Speed before shooting into Doom's eye, as I Am All of Me is blasting in the background, it is just so much fun. Instead of just simply boosting into your enemy or waiting for some meter to charge up in order to do damage, you actually have to plan out the way you're gonna attack Devil Doom. Which is great, as before that, all the previous Final Supersonic bosses have been sorta charge into him and wait for this thing to charge to attack, which is kinda bad in my opinion. The weak point changes every time you deal significant damage to Devil Doom, and you have to keep an eye on your rings. What a fun boss. The game comes to an end as Super Shadow Chaos controls the Black Comet in the path of the Eclipse Cannon, as it fires and destroys the aliens once and for all. The last we see of Shadow is him finally putting his past behind him and moving forward, which is exactly what we see in Sonic 06, the next Sonic game. I truly understand why people may dislike this game. Like I said before, I understand why I should dislike this game, but I really can't bring myself to do so. There are so many great ideas, so many great levels, and such fun gimmicks that I personally kind of adore this game. I find myself having so much fun every time I play this game. I don't usually 100% video games. In fact, I almost never do. And here I am, almost done with it in this game. Shadow the Hedgehog has a lot of problems. It's undeniable. But when you look past the dumb story or the idea of Sonic characters with guns, it honestly becomes such a great experience. Which is why I recommend everyone to give this game a try, because I truly think Shadow the Hedgehog is deeper than you think. Wow, wait, that was kind of a fire review. Thanks. No hard feelings about shooting you, by the way, okay? I just kind of needed to review this game because you would have not given it a fair chance. Yeah, it's chill. I've already been killed 16 times, so I'm used to it. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao. And before anyone says anything, no, there will not be channel lore. And also, to address the allegations, no, I don't think this game is better than Sonic Generations. Okay, maybe.
So unreal, is it true? Is it true? I take one step forward and two steps back.